Welcome to pattern making class. This is Annette Julie, and today we are working on making our interconstruction for our princess seam notch collar jacket. Please watch the one on how to make your hem interconstruction. Now we're going to make it for our side front, side back, and center back. And this is going to be for the armhole and shoulder section. So grab a piece of paper and get yourself a grain line. And now let's match our side front to our grain line and make sure that comes down 2 to 3 inches down here in the armhole. You have enough paper to do that. Let's go ahead and trace off down our side seam, our armhole, you do not need the notch. We don't notch just interfacing pieces only. Copying the shoulder and my princess seam. And that's for my side front. This is for interfacing. This includes the seam allowance. So go ahead and cross your corners so that you know what's there. Sometimes I just, go up and down. I don't need to always cross every corner. It tells me what's going on if I put one notch in there. Then I'm going to go down 2 inches. We're going to style up into the armhole like that. That looks good. From the armhole area up into the princess seam. And there's our interconstruction piece for our side front. And here would be a great interfacing for this area. In the armhole, you'll see in the front and the back. Nice and drapey. Here's the side back. Grab a piece of paper, it has that grain line. Let's go ahead and match the grain line. Move it down a little bit more. There we go. Let's do the shoulder. Princess seam. Going to do our armhole. And down 2 to 3 inches on the side seam. And you do not need to do the notches. And for production, we would keep all the seam allowance in. For couture, you might grade that down to just 1/8 of an inch. I could take off 3/8, but leave enough for stitching. Make sure you stitch it into the seam. There's our 2 inches. We're going to make it straight for now, and then we're going to curve it when we get to the center back piece. Okay, so we've got this, and we're going to do a little bit more shaping when we join it with our center back. And here's our center back piece. We have a grain line, jacket back. Let's go ahead and match that. Let's copy off our princess seams. Do not transfer the notches. We do not notch the seam allowance only pieces. Copy off our neckline. And our center back. This all has the seam allowance. Grade accordingly. If you have a fabric that's very unravelly, it wants to ravel, you can construct the whole body with interfacing. Now let's go ahead and lay our interconstruction pieces on top of each other here at the seam allowance line, and we'll shape it a little bit. That looks really good. Let's go up a little bit with the style line and shape off a little bit here, like so, and blend back down with a nice curve. And let's trim that. And there's our two back interconstruction pieces, the center back and the side back. Now, if you're going to put a thick shoulder pad in, please raise the low point of your princess seam jacket before you do this. We're also going to go on and do another video on interconstruction for the sleeve. So when you buy your interfacing, make sure that you have enough to cover all parts. You might need a yard or two depending on how long the jacket is, or coat. If you're making a coat, you might need a lot more. If it's a flimsy fabric, you can choose to interface the whole garment. And we take our two sides, make sure that they're matching right here, and our shoulders, and that looks good. This is Annette Julie, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.